Good afternoon, everybody. Saturday afternoon here in Appalachia. Very quiet, beautiful, sunshiny day. Just doing the chores. Dropped off some things that are being donated to the people that were ravaged by Hurricane Helene. Actually dropped off a couple generators this morning. And some people they'll take them out Monday to people who need them. The cleanup is going to take a very, very long time, and the rebuilding, if they're even allowed to rebuild, it's pretty bad up there outside of Asheville and even in Asheville itself. And I had a long talk with Donnie, the guy who was taking the stuff up. We're kind of comparing notes about everything that we've been seeing. After I left him this morning, I got to thinking about just what's happening in our world. What are we seeing? What is it that we are creating? And it's just something to ponder once in a while. Most days I like to get up and just do what I have to do to thrive. But today was one of those days to kind of look around, because it seems to me that if we can, and you have to pull the emotion out of some of this stuff that you're watching. If you're watching videos like I do, some of them can be incredibly triggering emotionally, and you have to really pull back. So while on the one hand, there's this awakening going on every day, more and more people coming to the realization that they are more than just this physical body. And on the other hand, there's the controllers, the people who have managed to get themselves in control of our society. Last week when I talked about victims and victims, the word that I didn't use was the victimizers. And that's what these controllers are. They're the ones who want to create an environment where we believe we are victims. So as more and more people awaken, this other side gets uglier and uglier. And I see people on Twitter asking the question, how can this be? How can it be so, how can these people be so bad? And what's really happening, though, in one respect, is that things that have been going on for thousands of years are now coming out into the open. Our whole world is connected virtually, thanks to this thing called the internet. And so everything is right there in front of us. Can't hide anything anymore. At least it's very difficult. And the further we go, the more difficult it's going to be to hide anything. But that's tough to take sometimes, because there's a lot of dark stuff out there. What's happening to children? And the children are the real target. But what's happening to children? What's happening in places all over Europe? What's happening in some of our cities here in the United States? People being transplanted all over the world. And I doubt it's always with their free will. So there's a real split going on. And I watched this interesting little discussion with Darryl Anka, who channels Bashar. And I've watched a lot of channelers. I've been in the presence of a lot of channelers over the past few years. And been very close to them. It's a fascinating phenomenon. 2 years ago, when I was going through an intense period, I was in Asheville for a couple of months, going through a very emotionally intense period. And I used to sit on the floor of the room I was in. And I felt that I was doing some channeling right at that time, because there was a voice coming out. And I just let it come out. I didn't think too much about it. I didn't pursue it at the time. It served its purpose. But channeling is an interesting phenomenon. And when I was listening to Darryl channeling Bashar, he was talking about this split that's happening and how people have fallen away from, in fact, it was Darryl talking, it wasn't Bashar. People who were in his life are now out of his life. They just kind of faded away. And I know that's happened to me. It's happened to other people I know, because I've talked about it with some people. And it's all part of this energetic split that's happening. So it'd be interesting to, if you're watching this, ask yourself if that's happened to you. Are there people who have just kind of disappeared out of your life quietly? If so, then that's just this energetic split, this bifurcation of timelines that's happening with, and Darryl talked about these different versions of planet Earth that are here now. We can't really sense them with our five senses, but they are here now, and they're going to continue to divide. Right now we can see, he used an interesting analogy. You're in the train station. Think about a big train station you've been in. It could be London or Milan or Grand Central Terminal in New York. And all these train tracks are next to each other, and all these people are on different trains. And they can see each other. But the trains are all starting to pull out. And they're all going eventually in different directions. And pretty soon you can't see the rest of them. You're on your own train with people of the same frequency. It's a very interesting analogy. It's a very interesting way of looking at it. And I liked it. And it explains why I don't have a big urge to reach out to some people who I used to be very close to. A lot of them from my youth. Because we've all gone our own way and carved out these different lives and different energies and different energetic pathways. And that doesn't mean that one is better than the other, because that's not true either. In fact, it's quite the opposite of that. It's just everybody's got their own pathway. And we're going to come together with people that we resonate with. And while some people will call that finding your tribe, I don't look at it that way. I don't think it's tribal in the sense of the way humans used to be tribal. But that's just me. A lot of people do still believe in the tribal concept, that we're looking for our tribe. Facebook groups are a way of finding your tribe. I don't spend a lot of time in them. I belong to a couple of them. Probably the most important one is my men's group. But that's a very interesting one to see where all the men are, into the younger men, especially in today's world, and the struggles they're going through. But yeah, we're all on our train, And the trains have definitely left the station. And we're going to keep drifting away from one another. And I think that's one reason why we see conscious communities popping up. I know I've done research on this, and they're all over the world. People trying to start up conscious communities. And I think that's why. That's a train on a track. So tell me what you think. Tell me if I'm on the right track. No pun intended. But it was just something to ponder today. Where are we going? Meanwhile, while we have all this awakening happening, all these people over here on one side, in all their different tracks, all their different trains. Over here, we have the controllers of our society who seem to want to herd us all into, this is very interesting too, they want to herd us into these 15-minute cities. It's the new buzz phrase. Where everybody, basically it's right out of Orwell's 1984, where everyone will be equal, universal basic income. So they want to herd us into these cities where you will own nothing and be happy. That's their catchphrase. Where everybody is the same. They basically want to create one train and one train track and have everybody on it. Well, everybody except them. The controllers will have their own track. But the rest of us will be on one train and one track. That's not going to work. Might work for some people. But most of us, especially those of us that are over here, the awakened group, we are working on our individuation, our own unique I, while at the same time being a part of the collective. Kind of like these trees around me. I've said this before. They're all their roots are connected, and they create this system. But yet, what we see are all these individual trees, and we are the same way. Our relationship with trees is phenomenal. I just think about it every morning when I'm staring out at these beautiful trees while I'm exercising. But most of us are here to find our I and our individuation, our unique expression. And we will find those that we resonate with closely, and we'll all be on the same train, on the same track. This is where it's very important to learn discernment about who we get close to, who we allow into our close space. It takes a lot of practice. But the controllers of our society are pulling out all the stops. And, whether it's unfair elections, questionable elections, whether it's weather modification, which the technologies are all patented, they're in the patent database, and whether it's just plain old fear-mongering of things that you can't see, and the remedy is a shot in the arm. All of these things are designed to keep you from finding your I. Could think of it this way, your third eye, but you're really your individuality, who you are, your unique expression. And by doing that, then finding out, becoming so powerful, realizing that you are the creator of your reality. You are a divine being, and that you will, and we will, come together with other divine beings here on our beautiful planet. The powers that be want to distract us with shiny objects and big visions, like going to Mars. No one's going to Mars. I don't believe that at all. We are designed to be right here. I mean, why would we want to leave this Garden of Eden? Why? What is out there? Why would we come here just to go somewhere else? When you think about it, it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. But a lot of people are trapped in, caught up in the shiny object syndrome. They see these shiny objects that we call technology. And that's okay, that's their path too. But no one's going anywhere. That's just the things I was pondering today. There's a lot of people out there with a lot of beautiful messages. I hope that if you're watching this, you can just stop and ponder how wonderful this life is, because it goes by very fast. The last 5 years I've been thinking about this week, and it was the most amazing 5 years, but it's gone by so fast. And that's why we got to stop every day and really try to slow this train down. Yeah. And enjoy every day, life in every breath. Are you doing that today? Can you do that right now? Just stop. Just stop for a minute. Express some gratitude. Because if you're watching this, you got it better than most. Find your eye. Tell me what you think's going on in this world. Don't tell me how we're going to fix it. I spent too much time doing mathematics problems. I'm not trying to find a solution, especially to the world's ills. No. Because first I got to just take care of here. And it's okay. People might say, oh, you're being selfish. No, you're not. And in a way we are, but we need to do that because I can't help anybody else unless I help myself first. We got to be strong inside for ourselves before we can help anybody else. It's just like dropping off those generators today. You know, I got to be able to come up with the resources every day. I got to do something every day so that I can have the resources to go buy generators and give them to somebody else, total strangers. That's what we have to do. We have to take care of this first so that we can help somebody else. There's a lot lot going on in our world. And it's happening very quickly. So take care of yourself first. Disconnect for a little bit. Figure out a way. Because the world needs warriors. Lots of warriors. Because we're not going back to 2019. No. The train has left the station. Which track are you on? It's a question we all got to ask ourselves. And we all got to do what we got to do. All right? So I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Appreciate you listening. And until next time, we do cosmic energy, earth energy, heart energy. Send loving heart energy out to all beings, all dimensions, all timelines, all realities. May this day be filled with compassion, loving kindness, and courage. Aho.